Pikachu, Psyduck, doo.
Did you know the Detective Pikachu plush doesn't have a speaker thing like the rest of the plushes?
Well, you know why?
Because it comes with a hat.
Hat.
It was great. It's like, comes with voice. Comes with voice. Comes with voice. Comes with hat. Thanks, Pokemon. So, Detective Pikachu has officially been out for...
Are we?
I have no idea when I'm going to post this.
Yeah,
A day.
we're really bad about that.
We saw it yesterday, which was a week before that came out, because we're cool. But super thanks to Warner Brothers for getting us tickets to an early screening.
Yep.
This is a spoiler review, if you couldn't tell by the thumbnail and or title.
And this right here, us saying, spoilers.
Spoiler alert.
Go back to the other video up there.
I'll point to it.
It's right there.
That's the spoiler-free review. This is a spoiler-filled discussion video.
So many spoilers.
Spoiler alert.
It's filled with... Yeah. It's filled with spoilers.
Yeah. We have so many ideas for videos to do after this one.
Yeah.
But like at the same time, we might want to wait until most people have seen it.
Yeah, I think we will wait. I don't even know how well this video is going to do because
like
it's a spoiler review.
The only people who are going to watch are people who've already seen it, and it's been like... I don't know
it's been that long. It's only been that long, you know, since the movie came out.
So it's either... It's people that don't care. Also, I'm not a huge spoiler guy myself, but anyway, that's not the topic of the video. We're talking about the Detective Pikachu movie. So, things that weren't said in the spoiler-free review. I stinking loved the Torteras in the movie. That whole scene.
Is a very interesting concept because they really amped up Pokemon
like the
world.
possibilities that you can do with science and stuff.
They just like, oh my gosh. And then
so there's if you need a reminder,
Yep.
They're doing genetic experiments on Pokemon, and the Torteras, they were doing a growth experiment. So there were Torteras the size of the hills, like the giant
like
hills.
mountains. Like there's like probably a good square kilometer of just Torteras. Like they're huge.
They're huge.
I'm sorry.
Gargantuan. Like I didn't know they could do that, even with genetic manipulate. What gene are they touching?
Seriously, just like poke the grow juice button.
Let's just remove the thing that tells them to stop growing.
Yeah, which it's totally possible. They're grass type, so
yeah, it's a tree.
Really, the only thing that stops trees from growing infinitely tall is gravity.
By the way, that was probably my favorite Easter egg too. Was like the Detective Pikachu dying from a ground type attack.
I mean, he didn't die. He just got hurt.
But still.
Spoilers.
Like,
it was ground, which was funny.
It's like, oh, earthquake, and then rocks and dirt are flinging all over the place, and it hits Pikachu. It's like, that's the one thing. It wasn't even that dramatic. It was just
like a tiny rock, like, hits him in the gut. He's like, I'm dead.
Because Pikachu's weak to ground type, because he's electric.
It's good, it's good. There was quite a few nice nods to type effectiveness. The Charizard and Gyarados thing.
Oh, yeah,
where,
Charizard was absolutely terrified of the Gyarados.
Yeah, he whimpered, and he was so, like, it was like, ha. I really enjoyed the aspect that they brought in with all of the Pokedex entries, like how Charizard's tail is essentially its weak spot. And like, you know, there's
Cubone's the lonely Pokemon.
Yeah,
like they explained, you know, Cubone's the lonely Pokemon after the fact, but like anyone who knew already is already laughing at the whole situation.
It was kind of like funny. And I like that with those small indications of the words they're saying, it creates more and more, I guess, canonicity of the movie. It makes it more part of the universe. You know, instead of like, oh, well, these Pokemon, that's just Cubone. We're not gonna say anything about it or like talk about it or anything like that.
And also the whole Mewtwo, like, why is Mewtwo here? Oh, it's because the detective, Tim's dad, was tracking it down after it escaped the Kanto region 20 years ago.
That's what's going on.
It's been 20 years.
It's been 20 years since Pokemon Red, which means it...
Is it the game universe or is it the anime universe?
Right?
Because it works with both.
It does work with both, surprisingly enough. I like all the nods to both the anime and the game. The underground fight scene, they're like yelling critical hit and like...
Yeah.
The Loudreds
were so good.
Super good.
Boom, 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 making the music themselves. I feel like Black and White touched on that in the game.
remember.
but not so directly.
Yeah,
and
it was.
It's such good fan service. Speaking of black and white, loads of Gen 5 representation.
That is true.
Like besides Gen 1, which obviously is going to be the most represented, Gen 5 is easily the second most.
Yeah.
Which is surprising. You'd think Gen 2 or the most recent, but no, it's Gen 5.
I didn't see any Gen 7.
Besides Comfey.
Right, I always think that's Gen 6 because I hate it.
I think Comfey was the only Gen 7
yeah.
Pokemon. Oh wait, Morlul is also Gen 7.
Is it?
Yeah.
Alright, well there's also Morlul. But also Gen 6 had a decent amount of Pokemon.
Yeah,
Because
and, I mean Greninja was a main side character. The
they
only main Pokemon are Pikachu, Psyduck, and Mewtwo, but and then there's the secondary, and Greninja has a pretty big scene. Greninja's more important than Charizard.
There's quite a few Pokemon. There's definitely over 100, I think, right?
There's more than 100 referenced because there's signs.
Oh yeah.
And billboards and stuff.
Like the knockout.
But the ones that they actually have models of walking around, maybe 80.
Yeah. Okay. We'll figure out the number. It's been so long.
Yeah. Once the DVD release comes out and we have access to the footage to go through it frame by frame, we're gonna count every single one.
Oh man, we're gonna go frame by frame.
Every single one.
There's tons of frames that you just do not get a chance.
There's so many things going on in this 3 seconds.
Even the trailer, going on the trailer frame by frame, you were like, oh whoa, there's a McChamp workout ring, and look at that, and over there.
Oh man, Primeape versus Articuno sign.
Or Steelix, tons of stuff that you just don't even notice.
I'm surprised Lucario wasn't a Pokemon.
There were
There were so many fan favorite Pokemon that weren't in there.
Yeah,
I feel like it might be because they're saving them.
They might be saving them,
doing sequels,
or they didn't want to.
They didn't want to pend the furries too much.
Well, they didn't want to ruin him
because the whole spoiler ending of humans merging with Pokemon. It's oh man, that's someone's fetish.
I mean, isn't that part of the game?
Oh yeah, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon is confirmed canon now to the Detective Pikachu universe because it's a split timeline. Where,
that's a video in the making.
Stupid.
The bad ending, or is it the good ending, depending on who you are.
Perspective.
But I feel like they didn't want to touch off on any of the super humanoid Pokemon, other than I think Machamp.
Yeah, I think Machamp was the only
Machamp was the only real humanoid. I mean, I guess Greninja also, but the one.
Stinking Pikachu. Oh, I'm inviting someone to my apartment, but I'm not.
I'm not that kind of Pokemon. What
does that mean? There are that kind of Pokemon?
That means there are that kind of Pokemon.
Oh man, adult jokes. There was one kid in the audience, probably 4, because he was rude enough to speak. And he's I don't get it.
Yeah.
And everyone laughed at that too.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was great.
I was surprised at how many kids were there, at the pre-release.
At a pre-screening.
It's just weird. But that's not part of this review. Gosh, I guess we're just talking about the movie. We're not really reviewing it.
It's not really. It's
right.
a discussion video.
Yes. We'll rename it to Spoil-Filled
Discussion. How about those Pokemon? Let's just list them right now.
Snubbull sucked.
I actually thought Snubbull was cute. I prefer live-action Snubbull to the cartoon Snubbull.
They made his head so big.
That is true.
Oh my god.
I feel like they made Snubbull bigger. We talked about in the spoiler-free review that
scale.
Snorlax seemed oddly small, and we looked it up. The Snorlax in the movie is definitely smaller than 6'11".
How tall is Machamp? Because
Machamp is slightly taller than a person, I think.
Because Machamp was towering over the Snorlax, which that was a really nice Easter egg. He's blocking the road, that's pretty great.
Yeah, he's blocking the road, so Machamp has to
construction. Yeah, he's directing traffic, and imagine having 4 arms.
Machamp is shorter than Snorlax.
Yeah, okay.
By 1.5 feet.
That Snorlax was tiny.
That Snorlax was smaller than Machamp.
Maybe it was a baby. No, I didn't see any baby Pokemon.
Yeah, there's no Munchlax.
And I also didn't see any shiny Pokemon, but then again, there's 1 trillion frames in this movie, so if you saw a shiny Pokemon, let me know, because I've never seen a shiny Pokemon in my life. That's not true, don't send me a million shiny Pokemon. It felt super American, and I feel like that's what they were trying to do.
With the heavy Gen 5 representation, because Unova is based on New York and all that, so having a lot of Unova Pokemon from Gen 5 kind of helps get that across to Pokemon fans who know what they're looking at.
I mean, in the opening cutscene, there's Bouffalant roaming. Yeah. Or they were in a pen.
It's not Tauros, there's Bouffalant.
Bouffalant, which means it's
Unova instead of Kanto or
Funnily
something.
enough, in Pokemon Go, Tauros is an American-only Pokemon. So, kind of goofed on that one.
I mean, you gotta do it with Gen 1, because Gen 5 wasn't a thing in Go at first. So one of the biggest complaints that I have about the whole movie, thank you, was how rushed it felt. I feel like in the DVD release we're gonna have so many like deleted scenes. The Jigglypuff scene in the movie didn't have the same expression or shots that the Jigglypuff scene in the trailers did. Mm-hmm. So that by itself confirms that there are animated deleted scenes.
Yeah, at least, yeah.
And that might have contributed to why the movie felt so rushed.
We talked about how it was shorter because of the attention span. Normally in theater cuts,
they shorten it because kids don't have the longest attention span.
No, they don't. They're like a puppy.
And you could tell the kids that were in the audience, you know, the first half of the movie, they were like super into it. But then like the second half of the movie,
they started to get rambunctious. They started talking. They started crying. You know, I didn't actually like hear many kids cry because there's always a Pokemon on screen, and you can always just be like, "Look, it's Pikachu," and the kid's like, "I love Pikachu!" Yes.
There's probably a lot of
director's cut.
I hope
gonna be
there's
good.
going to be a director's cut on the DVD
has
release.
To exist.
That like at least adds 20 minutes because I feel like the ending was so abrupt.
It needed breathing room.
Yeah, we needed like an extra 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm. It
was a good and satisfying ending, but it was like, woo, everything's happening. All right, go home.
Slap the top of the bun on the burger and be like, done. Okay, let's go. Didn't put any sesame seeds on it, you know. Food analogies. Oh my God, what am I becoming?
The worst.
I am. But yeah, they left a lot of loose ends that were like tied up. But
all at the end.
Because
of the pacing being as fast as it was, there were a few scenes I was a bit confused with, like
really?
Like explaining Tim's backstory. Like he moved in with his dad, but he didn't move in with his dad. But his dad still had a room set up for him that he lived in, but he didn't live in it. It was kind of like I
can see
put
where
all
you
those
got
pieces.
confused.
I put all those pieces together later on, but like in the moment when it was all being shown, I had no idea what was going on because everything was being explained so fast. Most of the time when things were being explained, there was almost no breathing room. It was just like, things are talking. Yes, they are. Here we go. We're explaining things. Oh, you're explaining things? Yes, I'm explaining things because this is how things happen. Yes. Pokemon explodes. Here comes the next scene.
Yep. It was very fast-paced.
It was kind of hard to keep up sometimes.
I followed it pretty well, but I don't know. I was super paying attention because I'm like, what theories can we come up? You know, like, oh man, we're gonna get this. We're gonna crack this eggshell wide open.
Yeah, we got like 7 videos
we got
planned for this.
A few videos for this, which I'm excited for because this means, well, hopefully people like it because that means there'll be that sequel, which I don't think they're ever gonna do Detective Pikachu again.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. The game ended on a cliffhanger. The movie did not. Mm-mm. Also, I'm super glad the movie differs from the game
quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. Like, since this is spoilers, I can explain it. It's spoilers for the game too, by the way.
Oh yeah.
So the game talks about R. Oh,
we didn't.
My favorite Easter egg in the movie was when they introduced the. It wasn't. He was like the news anchor or like the guy that owned the media agency. He's the main antagonist. That's in the game. Mm-hmm. That's the big twist, is that, oh, the guy that controls the news is the bad guy the whole time. Wow, who would have thought of that? But like, the plot goes as deep as he's using R to create news to make the news agency's ratings go up eventually. Because their ratings go high enough, they get more money. Because of that, they're eventually able to buy out all of the news and then control the media. And if you control the media, you control the world.
I mean, he's not wrong.
That's very true.
But I feel like...
But then the movie took it a completely different way. But they still, when they showed the news anchor character, he was still a jerk.
They still...
Which pointed at, because I was thinking, I played the game, he didn't. Mm-mm. I was thinking, oh yeah, he's the bad guy. Because they're introducing him. He's a huge jerk.
Yeah.
And he's the bad guy in the game, so obviously.
They built it up so it's like, oh, that's the bad guy, you know? Like, he's very rude. And then from that point on, they're like, you always... Anytime you see him after that, this is going to be spoilers, it's ditto. Like, every scene after, like, the mean scene where he's like, oh, I hate you, Dad.
When he has sunglasses.
Yeah, and almost
it's ditto.
Almost
which is
every
almost
scene.
From that point onward. So he's a jerk once.
You know, I really should have seen the ditto thing coming, because in that scene where he's a jerk, Ditto turns into a human with glasses to push the guy in the wheelchair. I should have really seen the Ditto being a...
That's like one of the 2 foreshadowing clues.
Yeah, there's only a few, and I think that one and... Wait, what was the other one?
Yes.
We'll be right back.
Oh, the whole, when the old guy is showing the hologram thing, and he's like, it shows you what... what they want you to see,
and then... I mean, yeah, like...
It's like, obviously, like, as soon as that whole scene happens, like, oh, he's probably the bad guy, too. He's probably in on it.
I didn't get that.
That's what I got immediately.
I was blissfully dumb. Ignorant, that's the word. I really, like, they did pull a bait and switch on me, which was a very interesting thing, because normally I can see those twists coming.
Also, the game, they never revealed that Pikachu is Tim's dad, but, like, it's the end of chapter 1. They so heavily imply it that, like, if you know how to read, you get it. You get it. The movie didn't really do that until towards... It was like around the
about
time...
the halfway point.
As soon as it showed...
Like, oh yeah, that's
you
for
can
sure.
You can put things... You could transfer souls and stuff. It's like as soon as that even gets mentioned, it's like, oh, here you go. Pikachu...
That's like towards the end of the movie, though.
That is true,
like,
but like... It's never obvious until that point. Besides the whole, like, oh, Tim can understand him. But why can Tim understand him if it's just his dad's soul inside of a Pikachu?
Yeah, they never really explained why they can talk to each other.
Why did Mewtwo need Tim specifically?
Yeah, there was no explanation on, like, why they needed Tim to bring it back. Which
Is it because Tim's the only one that could talk to Pikachu?
Why is that? Like, why is... Also, there's just a lot of things that they don't really cover, like, fill in the gaps of, because it's such a short movie, unfortunately.
I want to know how R works. That's gonna be like
that's gonna be one of the big videos. I already have some ideas on it, so it might be sooner than later.
Also, they treated Mewtwo like a god.
They did. He was so crazy powerful in this one, and it totally rewrites the, like, Mewtwo canon in this universe, at least. I like that they gave him 2 voices, although the male voice is much more dominant.
Because Mewtwo is genderless.
So they have 2, like, echoing
and the
voices.
anime, like the first movie, it's a male voice actor, and then more recently, it was a female voice actor. So in this, they just did both.
Yeah, which is great.
It also makes it just sound more alien.
Super, super cool. The video effects were really cool too. Yeah.
The special effects were phenomenal.
They did a very good job animating the Pokemon.
The little Squirtles, the little Bulbasaurs.
They're so jiggly. Trying to make this, like, review worthwhile to watch.
What was your favorite Pokemon down there? Also, did you see any that we missed? Because
yeah, we have a list.
I have a list of all the ones
that you remember.
That I remember. And Pikachu, Mewtwo, Psyduck, Mr. Mime, Greninja, Ditto, Snubbull, Ludicolo, Torterra, Jigglypuff, Charizard, Aipom, Bulbasaur, Cubone, Lickitung, Eevee, Flareon, Loudred, Doduo, Dodrio, Pidgeot, Bouffalant, Rufflet, Braviary, Audino, Emolga, Rattata, Snorlax, Machamp, Joltik, Togepi, Purloin, Sneasel, Pancham, Pangoro, Totodile, Squirtle, Charmander, Trico, Morlul, Comfey, Floette, or Flabebe.
I think it was both.
I think it was both?
Which one stands on the flower?
That's Flabebe.
Okay, it was that one. I didn't see any of the other ones.
Okay. Because all I saw were the flowers. It was
well,
because they were distant, and those Pokemon are really tiny.
And then, like,
so it's one or the other.
So it's not like you can't see it on that shot when they're all opening because there was no, like, white. There was just a white dot. But later on, when they, like, do a pan shot of, like, the canyon wall, there's one just hanging onto the, like,
on the
flower.
side.
Yeah.
Okay, that's Floette.
Yeah.
So maybe both. Slacking, Blastoise, Gengar, Magikarp, Gyarados, Swinub, Growlithe, Arcanine, Golurk, Venusaur, Octillery, and then referenced Noctowl, Rayquaza, Reshiram, Zekrom, Arceus, Dialga, Palkia, Mew, Articuno, Steelix, Victini, Primeape, Unknown, Magneton, Petalil, Wooper, Goomy, Swirlix, Why Not? I think I saw it. Spoink, Dragonite, and Hypno.
Did you say Pangoro and Pancham?
I think so.
Okay.
Also, the trailer had a Kingler. I didn't see the Kingler in the movie.
Did you say Magikarp and Gyarados also?
Yes.
Okay. I was not paying attention. I was just moving, like, doing this while you were talking.
Well, that's a good number of Pokemon.
Yeah, there was a good number of Pokemon. And there were tons in the signs and stuff that, like, you could easily miss. Like Victini. You missed the like, people dressed up like Victini during... How about bringing back Poke Floats from like that's a
Detective Pikachu Poke Floats stage
like
in
that
Smash
was,
Bros.
There we go. I wanted to say that, but we were in a theater and I don't like to talk. But I wanted to lean over and be like, this is why they need to bring back Poke Floats.
Overall, I do think it was still a bit too Gen 1 heavy, but that makes sense for the first Pokemon movie. It's to ease people in. More people are familiar with the Gen 1 Pokemon than the more recent ones, especially of the adults and young adults.
Yeah.
Because we grew up with Gen 1 and 2 Pokemon, so it makes sense. You know, we're bringing our kids. Our kids understand that... Pikachu, but our kids also get Greninja.
Yeah.
Greninja is super popular because he's also a character in Smash Bros. And he's super popular in Japan.
I'm super surprised Incineroar didn't make it. I thought he was gonna make it. Like someone from 7.
I feel like they might have purposefully avoided a lot of the furry characters because Lucario and Incineroar both aren't in it. Neither was Gardevoir.
Yeah, none of the
none of the Waifumon were there either.
No, none. Unless Jigglypuff is one, but I'm not part of that group, so I have no idea which ones are.
Sure hope he's not. Jigglypuff's too innocent.
Is Snubble a Waifumon?
No.
All of the Pokemon eyes were like...
They were either really well done or really off-putting.
Yeah, they were.
There was no in between.
Mewtwo's was great.
Pikachus were really good.
Pikachus were good. Like they looked like an animal's eyes. But then you get to Charizard. He's like goofy, huge-eyed dork. Psyduck.
Charizard did look like a dork.
He's super goofy. And I kind of like that. He was kind of goofy. Even beforehand. And then during the fight, he was like, I'm
a big mean Charizard.
Well, that was because he was all hopped up on R. But before that, he also was still goofy, and then he lost the R, and he was a coward again, and I like that kind of thing. I kind of liked that they said some Pokemon moves like Volt Tackle, Electro Ball, and all those, but they didn't super go into detail on all of them.
Like the cage fight, they said critical hit, but that was it.
I think they said Shadow Ball.
Oh yeah, oh it's the Shadow Ball.
Yeah, and they were like, what? I loved it. There's probably so many Pokemon I missed because I was watching the fight action choreography because it was good.
There was either another Jigglypuff or a Clefairy also. I didn't write Clefairy down because I'm not positive on it, but in the background of the cage scene, it's either another Jigglypuff or it's a Clefairy. But it's just because there's so much, you're so focused on the action in the cage that you're not really paying attention to the back.
Yeah. But Gengar was off-putting.
Gengar was a weird one.
It's the teeth. And thinking about the old school Gen 1 art, he has just square teeth.
It's really weird.
Terrifying. Good job. With the spoiler review in thoughts, definitely worth seeing, even though we spoiled everything for you, because I feel like
there's so many little jokes and quips. Ryan Reynolds did so good. I was part of the oh man, Danny DeVito would be better, or even just.
I wanted it.
That was just a meme. But even the original voice actor for Detective Pikachu in the game, I was like, even that guy would be better than Ryan Reynolds. But they actually changed Pikachu's personality from the game to fit Ryan Reynolds' acting style perfectly, and it worked really well.
With the quips and stuff.
There's constant jokes and quips and everything.
I feel like he should have had more coffee. He didn't drink enough coffee for how much you said. We did that whole video on how many cups of coffee. He drank tiny cups, and so I'm mad because I was like, we went into the theater, and I'm like, I'm gonna know the number because I did the math for that. I'll know if he should have died or not. And they're tiny cups, and I'm like, I don't know the ounces of those tiny cups.
They're they're like shots. The little espresso shots.
Yeah, I can't tell if Pikachu should die or not.
It's important information.
It is. I was so excited to think about it. I'm like, this Pikachu's gonna die tonight.
Caffeine overdose.
Oh, man.
The edgy humor was so good because it was that Hollywood manufactured edgy. So it's still child appropriate, but just barely, I think
they were pushing that PG-13 rating.
It's either child appropriate entirely or child appropriate because they would not get the joke anyway.
The cocaine joke.
And I'm not this kind of Pokemon usually.
Oh boy. Gross.
Put fingers in me.
Yeah, that was one that I think I heard someone say ew next to me. They were like, ew. Fun.
But yeah. It was really good. What did you think of it? Talk in the comments.
Did we miss any great Easter eggs that we didn't talk about?
YouTube mind control. There's the last one we didn't mention. Soul transfers and YouTube mind control.
This brought up a lot of
theories. Weird moral stuff and weird theory stuff that we're going to be talking about probably plenty.
Yep.
sometime after the DVD release comes out and we actually are able to capture the movie for
I feel like that'd be good too, because by the time the DVD release comes out, most people have seen it, and we don't run into the, well, it's spoilers.
I don't want to watch your theory because it might spoil me.
Just watch the video then. Like, if you don't want to be spoiled, watch the movie.
Yeah.
That's an easy fix. Okay.
All right. Well, that's our spoiler-filled discussion. Give us your thoughts down below, because we don't really watch movies that often, so we're not the best at discussing it from the perspective of a movie.
We didn't give it a number. 7.
Oh yeah, I said that in the spoiler-free review.
Yeah, but I mean,
it's like a 7.5 or 8 out of 10 movie. Lots of Pokemon fan service, so if you're a Pokemon fan, you're gonna enjoy it a lot more.
Yeah.
If you're not, it's still a decent movie. It's not mind-blowing or anything, but it does break the stigma of video game movies are bad.
And then, of course, here comes Sonic, and we're gonna end on that note.
Bye.
Bye. Are we gonna do a Sonic review?
Probably.
I hope not.
We're going to. Midnight release.
No.
I'm gonna see if I can get in early.
You're gonna make me watch it, aren't you?
Yeah.
I was planning on not seeing that.
Too bad.